Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well. Today we are doing my Premier League predictions for the new season 2023 till 2024. Without further ado, let's get into it. In 20th place in the Premier League is newly promoted Sheffield United, because they haven't brought anyone yet in the transfer market, meaning not a lot of experience. They've lost a star man Die for 17 mil to Marseille, and their strikers, they're unreliable. They've got McBurney and Brewster. One's old, one's young. So there's a massive difference. So overall, I'm putting them in 20th. Okay, the next team I am predicting to go down this season is unfortunately Luton Town. Just for a couple of reasons. They have got the cheapest team in the league, but currently they have spent 17 million on 4 players, such as Morris Akamba, who has experience from Aston Villa. However, the massive factor teams might be worried about is their home ground, Kenilworth Road. What they need to do is make the place as hostile and difficult for teams to come and pick up all 3 points. Another reason is there's a massive lack of experience in the Premier League, and overall it's just not enough. Therefore, they're going down with Sheffield United. The last team to go down in this Premier League season is Wolverhampton Wanderers, just because I feel like the squad is thinning and they're not reinvesting in other players. Like Neves has gone, Martinez has gone, Cody's gone Championship, Jimenez is on to Fulham. Last season, they managed to pick up 11 points away from home and only scoring 30-ish goals from 38 games. However, a positive side to look for Wolves is they signed Cunha on a permanent deal for £15. But even that, it's just not good enough. He didn't shine last season for them. And without the attacking threat of a good striker, I just don't think they're going to make it. So I'm putting them down with Sheffield United and Luton. My next prediction, and the team that I think will stay up by the scrape of their nails, is Burnley Football Club. They have got a great gaffer who completely knows the game. They've spent around 70 million on 4 players so far, and one of them being England's future goalkeeper, James Trafford. As we all know, James Trafford is an amazing goalkeeper, helping England win the under-21 Euros and not conceding 1 goal and saving a penalty in the 98th minute. Overall, they've got more talented players that Vincent Kompany has brought in over the couple of years he's had there. So overall, I think they will just stay up. The next team I am predicting to stay up in the Premier League this season is AFC Bournemouth. However, they conceded too many goals last season in 71 and even dropped Gary O'Neill after claiming Premier League status again. However, Vitality Stadium has been proven to be difficult, such as fixtures and results such as beating Liverpool 1-0, drawing to a Champions League side Newcastle 1-1. And to be honest, I think it'll be a standard season for them again. They'll keep Premier League status, but they won't move at the table as much from last season. So let's get on to the next team. The next team I believe that will stay in the Premier League, which a lot of people are saying will get relegated this season, is Everton Football Club. The reason why, they have just signed a world-class striker, done brilliant business by the name of Danjuma. During his time in the Champions League, he had 8 appearances and scored 6 goals, which is very positive signs for Everton to come. They've also got a great gaffer in Sean Dyche. And also they have got a new stadium, which can lead to new excitement within the fans, more atmosphere, and hopefully more nail-biting action like the last game of the season against Bournemouth at Goodison Park. So then hopefully Everton Football Club can find their footing again in the Premier League and start climbing up the ranks even more. However, let's move on to next position. Okay then, the next team I am putting in 14th position in this year's Premier League is Nottingham Forest. The reason why, I felt like to the end of last season, the team slowly began to gel together. And that was proven by beating Arsenal, which was a must-win game for Arsenal. But at the same time, by Nottingham Forest winning 1-0, helped City win the league before they even played, whoever they played. This season, they have signed Elanga from Man United, which is a very good signing, actually. And to be honest, I think they will improve this season again. That's why I'm putting them in 14th. Okay then, the next team I am predicting to come 13th in this year's Premier League is Crystal Palace. They have some excellent talent like Elise and Eze, who began to shine in last season. However, they have lost Zaha. He has now gone to Galatasaray. They scored 40 goals last season, which was a massive shame considering they've got strikers like Eduard, Zaha used to score goals for them. However, they have signed Lima from Bournemouth on a free, which I think is brilliant business, and that's at the start of the window, which some of you may have missed. And also, last season they put in Roy Hodgson again. He's world class, he knows the game, he knows how to manage the game, which I think, because of him managing the game very well, I think they will do very well this season and come 13th. Without further ado, let's look who I've predicted to come 12th this season. Okay then, in 12th I have predicted the Irons West Ham United. And I just feel like, due to the Conference League win they had last season, I just think their squad is going to have a lot more boosted morale. And now, plus with Europa League, which they will focus on, but I think they get knocked out quite early. I think they'll make it, but they get a Champions League and that finish third, I reckon. And then they're going to have to focus on the Premier League. However, a massive, massive win for them is selling Declan Rice at over £100 million, which they can invest in whatever they want. However, I feel like they have enough talent this season to go even better, with the likes of Bowen scoring the winner in the Europa Conference League final, and Paqueta, who I think is talented, but he just needs just a bit more time just to finalise everything, and then he can start playing ball. Without further ado, let's look at 11th, and then we're going to get into the top 10 of this season's Premier League. Okay, then the next team I'm predicting who we just missed out on top 10 is Fulham. For the past couple of days, Al Hilal have been trying to get a move to Mitrovic to come to Saudi Arabia. However, throughout the couple of hours we've heard that he's turned it down. However, they do have the oldest team in the league with players such as Paulinho, Pereira and William, which William brings a lot of experience to the attacking force. Paulinho, we saw him last season and he was brilliant. This season they have brought in Calvin Bassey, centre-back, which just means it's more strength due to Tim Reed, who I'm pretty sure did retire last season. However, the best thing Marcus Over has done, how they've kept the main core of the team, and the fact by keeping that means you can just build on it. So, without further ado, let's look at the top 10 for this season's Premier League season. Let's go. Well then, here we have it, top 10 of the Premier League for this season. Let's see who I've put in 10th. In 10th, I've put Brentford for a couple of reasons. Tony is out till January. He came third last season in the Golden Boot. He was an amazing striker, converted all pens apart from the one against Nick Pope, but he had to take a retake. But anyways, he was a massive part of their team in the goal scores. However, Wissa and Mbeumo, they're exciting. They bring a spark to the Brentford side that not a lot of players can. And a big plus, they've beaten Manchester City, the champions, twice last season, home and away. However, the biggest loss is losing Raya and Collins. Raya made 140 saves, more than any goalkeeper last season. And to be honest, I think Raya has lost his career. So, because of losing the defensive structure and some of the attacking structure, I've put him in 10th. So let's move on to 9th and see who we've got. Okay then, next team I have predicted to come 9th is Brighton and Hove Albion. I just feel like with Europa League now on the cards, McAllister going, Caicedo's probably not going to go now after Brighton's at £100 million price tag on him. I just feel like they'll get far in Europa League and focus more. However, they have made some new signing, such as De Hound from Dortmund and Milner from Liverpool, which that's just adding more depth, more experience, more quality into the team, having a deeper squad. But also they've got little talents here like Matoma, Evan Ferguson and De Zerbi. De Zerbi's done a brilliant job ever since Potter went to Chelsea. And to be honest with you, I think this season they'll miss out in Europe. However, let's get into the top 8. Okay then, who do I think will miss out in Europe this year? Unfortunately, missing out in Europe this year is Aston Villa. However, they do have a class manager in Unai Emery who has worked his magic clearly with Aston Villa. But also they're adding more class and more European experience in Pau Torres, who Unai Emery has worked before with, Diaby, Tielemans. However, a big problem is Jacob Ramsey getting injured. However, Ollie Watkins is banging in goals for Aston Villa during the pre-season and at the end of last season. However, the main reason why I've put Villa missing out in Europe is because they're playing in the Conference League, and I think they'll win it. That means they'll put their focus on the Conference League and the Prem, but they still do well in the Prem, and then they will get Europa League next season. But because I'm putting them out and they're missing out in a Europe spot this season is because they're going to win Conference League. They've got a massive advantage now due to Juventus saying, you know what, we'll miss out this season in Europe. So overall, I'm putting Villa to miss out on Europe but winning the Conference League. Okay then, the team that is getting UEFA Conference League this season is my team, Newcastle United. A couple of reasons why. We've signed Tonali, Livramento and Barnes, just adding more depth and more talent into the team. St James's Park is going to be rocking. Champions League home nights. The one thing that Newcastle have is an atmosphere. It's hostile ground, it is. You can barely hear the away fans. However, in the Champions League, I have a feeling we get a group of death. But that doesn't matter because I think we'll finish third in it and therefore put us on to Europa League. However, I think you might get knocked out of that and then leaving us our attention on the Prem. However, we have youngsters such as Anderson and Lewis Miley shining throughout the Premier League summer series, which is kind of telling me a lot what Eddie Howe wants to do, is try the youngsters out, give them a go, and then try and see what they do in the Prem. However, we sold St Maximin. His time was coming up, and to get a good amount of money for him is brilliant. However, the biggest problem I have noticed in my side is if either Shaw or Botman get injured, it's a problem. Because who's going to replace him? What, Dan Burn? He's alright, but he's mainly a fullback now. So, if one of them two get injured, I'm very worried about Newcastle United. However, I don't think they will, and I think we will get Conference League. Okay then, let's see who I put to get Europa League for this season. Okay then, moving on to the European spots. In 6th, I am putting Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Due to many reasons, such as the new manager in Angie from Celtic, who won the league last season with him. Harry Kane might stay. Maddison, they have brought in Maddison and Solomon from Fulham. And I just feel like that may just be enough to keep Harry Kane in the club. More attacking threat. Even signing Kulusevski on a permanent. But the problem is the defence. It's shambles, it's leaky, it's not a good Premier League defence. But if they manage to get a centre-back signing done, which I think they have, but I don't know what is. I think it's Van der Beek, I don't know, from Wolfsburg, then I think they'll be alright. He costs 15 or so, he should be alright. So I think they will get European football this season. Okay then, moving on to the last European spot in 5th, I am putting Liverpool Football Club. They brought in McAllister and they brought in Szoboszlai, but they've let go Henderson and Fabinho. They're both CDMs. They've got no CDMs. But whilst looking at their squad, I saw Trent. Will Trent move into midfield like he has for England? That's a massive question that Klopp will have to, answer in the upcoming days. However, they have got a world-class attack. Diaz, Salah, Nunes, and all them. The key players have stayed. Van Dijk has stayed. Robertson has stayed. Salah has stayed. However, it's Darwin Núñez. He's had a good pre-season so far, actually. He's converting his chances. But is he going to be any good in the Premier League? Because they're playing teams out in Germany. Like, I know they played Bayern and bottled it 4-4. But, you know what I mean? Is he going to be good? So therefore, I'm putting Liverpool in a European spot. Let's move on to the Champions League places. Let's go. Okay, then the first team taking the first Champions League spot in the Premier League for this season is Manchester United. They brought in Mason Mount, good, class, quality. However, Ten Hag is under a lot of pressure due to getting Champions League football. Onana was a good appointment after an insane season in the Champions League, getting the most clean sheets. However, he did get love from the centre circle today at his debut at Old Trafford. However, the main problem is the Glazers still unsure about selling the club. They just don't know what to do. However, typical Man United fashion is them always getting Champions League football. So it's just time for me to put him in. So therefore, I'm putting him in fourth. Let's see who is third. Okay then, coming top 3 this year in the Premier League is Chelsea Football Club. I feel like Chelsea have had a massive refurb, sold and brought basically a whole new team. Just to give you some, they've sold Mendy, Koulibaly, Aubameyang, Mount, Azpilicueta, Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek. However, they've brought in Nkunku, Nicholas Jackson, Maatsen and Colwood on until 2029. They've also brought in Pochettino, who knows the Premier League very well from past experience at Tottenham Hotspur, taking them to a Champions League final. Also, another thing to point out is they won the Premier League Summer Series, which is very positive actually. And another thing is, there's no Europe, no distractions, they've got nothing to worry about but just the Prem. So therefore, I'm putting them third. Let's see who is winning the Premier League this year. Okay then, winning the Prem this year is Manchester City. They're too good. Haaland's too good. De Bruyne's too good. Pep Guardiola's too good. Arsenal, they'll do well. They'll come second. They signed Declan Rice over 100 mil. Is it the right move? Probably not. But they've done it now, so there's no point, going back or anything. However, Jesus is injured. It's just Man City. They'll win the league. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and a comment. Peace.